My man had just gone bankrupt and all he could think of was death. Yet I told him, "Darling, your birthday is next month. I saw a watch that would suit you so perfectly. It's a shame it costs 5 million and I don't have enough to buy it." He was so touched, tears welled up in his eyes. He never expected me to still remember. So he took on odd jobs, drove a motorcycle taxi, even sold his house, and finally earned the 5 million. As for me, I didn't even bother to look at it. I spent it all and then pouted, "That new bag is so pretty too. I desperately want one." As a result, my man no longer wanted to die. Every morning when he woke up, the first thing he thought about was how to make money. It was my third year as Ryan's canary, and it seemed he was truly broke. While Ryan was away on a business trip, almost all the staff and household members had already fled. Ms. Wang, who had always been quite friendly with me, saw that I hadn't packed my bags to escape and kindly advised, "Ms. Meng, it's still not too late. Quickly gather some valuables and get out of here." Did I not want to escape? But 3 years as Ryan's pampered canary had rendered me useless. Though a canary, Ryan was both foolishly generous, rich, and easygoing. For 3 years, I had basically never suffered. All I knew was indulgence. Leaving Ryan, where would I find someone so willing to spend money and cater to me like that? What if those rumors were false? I still wanted to try and salvage a little more. The day the bankruptcy was confirmed, Ryan returned. His suit was wrinkled and dark circles were prominent under his eyes, clearly showing he hadn't rested in a very long time. Ryan sank to the floor, leaning against the sofa, a small knife in his hand, its blade reflecting a cold light. His expression was eerily calm, his eyes still as deep well water. The knife in his hand spun once, then poised to cut his wrist. Everyone was gone, there wasn't even a light on in the house. I fumbled in the dark for a long time before finding the light switch. Hearing the sound, Ryan tilted his head, pausing for a second. "Zixi, you're still here." I pretended to be bewildered, not understanding what he was implying, and simultaneously acted as if I didn't see the knife in his hand. Just like always, I rushed into his arms, feigning affection. "Darling, you're finally back. I missed you like crazy." Then, out of habit, I reached into his jacket pocket. It was completely empty, nothing there. It seemed everything was truly gone. It was a known fact that every time Ryan returned from a business trip, he brought me expensive designer gifts. Ryan seemed to understand what I was searching for, and a flicker of sadness crossed his eyes. "Zixi, I'm sorry." I cut him off, regretfully settling into his lap, playing with his hands. "Darling, your birthday is next month, and I saw a watch that would suit you so well. It's a pity it costs 5 million and I don't have enough money." Interrupted by me, Ryan forgot what he was about to say. When he realized what I meant, his eyes turned red. "My birthday? You still remember?" Hearing this, I glanced at him, pouting. "How could I ever forget your birthday?" His face showed raw emotion, his hands trembling slightly. "Isn't it just 5 million? I'll transfer it to you right away." As soon as he said it, he suddenly remembered he was bankrupt. I widened my eyes, looking at him, waiting. Ryan wiped his eyes, his voice low. "Funds are a bit tight right now. I'll transfer it to you in 2 days. No more talk, I need to go deal with this immediately." He stood up, preparing to leave, but I held him back. "You weren't home, and for some reason, all the housekeepers left. No one's here to cook." Ryan's face became strained, his hand clenched then relaxed. "I'm sorry, it's all my fault." He took off his suit jacket and walked into the kitchen. "I'll cook right away." There was still some food in the fridge. Ryan put on an apron and began bustling in the kitchen. After half a month apart, he had lost a bit of weight, but his physique remained well-proportioned, broad chest, toned back. Ryan had taken such meticulous care of me. How could I ever pay attention to another man? I guess I've fallen into his trap. Ryan's cooking skills, honed during his time studying abroad, weren't exceptional, but they weren't bad either. Fortunately, I wasn't a picky eater, especially since the main feast was yet to come. After dinner, Ryan wanted to leave again. I held him back, pulling him onto the bed. "Darling, why do you seem so different this time you're back? Did something happen?" Hearing that, Ryan's eyes flickered slightly, and the force with which he tried to push me away lessened. "Nothing, I just want to quickly sort out the financial situation." I ran my hand over his chest, my voice a little sulky. "Always work, work, work. Haven't you missed me at all after being away for so long?" I wrapped my legs around his waist, his throat twitched. I didn't let him say another word and kissed him. First, I needed to be satisfied, then we could talk. During that time, Ryan gently held me tight, revealing a vulnerable side. "Zixi, you're so good." I quickly covered his mouth. "Stop talking. Say any more and I'll get flustered." When I woke up, Ryan was no longer there. He must have gone to look for work. I slowly got out of bed and washed my face, finding the breakfast he had prepared already on the table. After eating, feeling a little full, I went for a walk in the garden to aid digestion. Just then, my best friend texted me with multiple exclamation marks. I thought I was still dreaming. Why did the food delivery guy just now look so much like your man? It was accompanied by an incredibly blurry, abstract, candid photo. I opened it, zoomed in, and couldn't help but gape in surprise. He's 1.88 meters tall, yet the photo made him look like 1.5 meters. But no matter how blurry, I immediately recognized it was Ryan. He was a CEO before bankruptcy. Has he fallen this far? I asked around among my contacts in the industry and found out someone had deliberately sabotaged him, preventing Ryan from getting a decent job. As soon as his resume was submitted, it was thrown straight into the trash. Damn it, my heart aches. Truth be told, I also have some assets. Over the years, Ryan treated me well, and I only love money. Everything he gave me has been converted into gold and silver. At most, Ryan and I will just switch roles. I'll support him, those people have gone too far. When he returned, I called him over. Darling, how about we go back to my hometown to live? I clearly saw Ryan let out a sigh of relief, and he nodded. Okay, I agree. I immediately started packing. Clothes and shoes were essential. I had to take them all. 200,000 for this bag, 500,000 for that one. It was all money. I couldn't possibly leave it behind. The jewelry Ryan had given me was incredibly precious. I absolutely had to take it. I packed everything into several large, full bags. Looking at the luggage, I suddenly realized Ryan had been unusually silent for a long time. I went to find him and saw him sitting motionless on the sofa, a sense of unease that I couldn't quite articulate washing over me. Why aren't you packing anything? Only then did he react. I don't have much, just a few personal items will do. He then casually tossed a few things into a bag. That night, Ryan went to bed very early. He hugged a thin blanket, his brows relaxed. He was sleeping soundly. Seeing him like that softened my heart. If I hadn't accidentally seen a draft message on his phone, I wouldn't have known. He had converted all his assets into exactly 5 million in cash. Zixi, take this money and live well. And also, the bottle of sleeping pills hidden in the nightstand drawer. The next morning, Ryan, uncharacteristically, didn't sleep in. He woke up in excellent spirits, put on his suit, looking as if he were preparing for a long journey. Sweetheart, I've already transferred the 5 million to your account. I have to go on a business trip. I'll probably be back in about a month. You just go back to your hometown first. I'll find you then. The moment he finished dressing and was about to leave, I pretended to have just seen the money and casually spent it all immediately. Ryan saw everything. His entire body stiffened. I put my phone down and feigned innocence. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why do you look so upset? Are you going on a business trip? This new bag design is so beautiful. I love it so much. Do you want to die behind my back that badly? First, earn 1 billion for me, then we'll talk. The alarm I had set rang out. Ryan forced a smile and picked up his phone. The business trip was canceled. Okay, I understand. From his expressionless face, I could clearly see a hint of despair. Normally, I would rush to comfort him, playing the role of a gentle, understanding canary. But now I had darkened. His pain, his despair, I pretended not to see, only eagerly showing him my phone. Sweetheart, look at this. Should I choose this color or that one? Both are so beautiful. It's so hard to choose just one. If it were before, Ryan probably wouldn't have even looked, just gently told me to buy both. But now he had to secretly pinch himself in the dark to stay awake. This blue one, I pouted, but I think the pink one is pretty too. He quickly changed his mind. Then let's buy the pink one. I lowered my gaze, fidgeting with my fingers. But the blue one is nice too. What should I do now? Darling, I like both. It took him a while before Ryan stammered out a sentence. Then buy both. After saying that, he rushed out. No more talk, I'm late for work, I have to go. He looked utterly worn out as he left. Would he ever want to strangle me more than commit suicide? Ryan was gone. I looked at the luggage I had prepared and carefully put each item back in its place. I feared it would be a long time before I could return to my hometown. After tidying up, I was exhausted. Lying on the sofa, the more I thought, the more annoyed I became. Who exactly had provoked Ryan to this extent? Bankruptcy was one thing, but why would he want to die? Without him, where would I find such an obedient, foolish, and wealthy sugar daddy? No, I couldn't just let this go. I angrily called my best friend. Girl, someone's messing with your good fortune. My best friend immediately shot up from bed, dramatically furious. Who dares? The one obstructing my money flow is dead meat. That afternoon, we met at my house. She brought a bag of spicy lobster and bubble tea, sneaking in. Honey, tell me everything, what exactly happened? I took a sip of bubble tea while greedily munching on lobster. Ryan was betrayed by someone in his company, leading to bankruptcy. He's severely depressed and wants to commit suicide. Ching listened, still not fully understanding. Then what? I replied. We have to find that traitor and resolve the issues in Ryan's heart. She nodded, continuing to eat lobster. Wrong. Ching suddenly looked up. Huh, what about me? I glanced at her, speechless. Sweetheart, we are in this together, all for one and one for all. Let's repeat our oath. Ching obediently recited. Only if my best friend is rich and prosperous can I spend money freely. Only if my best friend lives a life of luxury can I bask in extravagance. I wholeheartedly help my best friend, cherish my best friend, fully support my best friend, and uplift my best friend every step of the way. I conveniently picked up a peeled lobster from her plate and gently prompted, If Ryan has a lot of money, who will benefit the most? She asked blankly. Huh. Who? I was so annoyed I wanted to pound sense into her. Who else? It's you, sweetheart. Is there anything Ryan bought for me that you didn't get a share of? And yet that pest dares to ruin the good fortune of both of us. Finally, she understood. She angrily threw her gloves onto the table. That scoundrel, I want him to pay. I quickly grabbed more lobster from her plate, eating as I spoke. Exactly, you're absolutely right, he definitely has to die. While searching for the culprit, the most important thing was to keep Ryan calm and prevent him from doing anything foolish. Not even going for a walk, not even taking the elevator. To earn money for my handbags, Ryan would open his eyes and go to work, returning home only to collapse into sleep, his mind completely devoid of other thoughts. In just a few short days, he had visibly lost weight. It pained my heart to see him like that. I even lost the urge to kiss him, almost unable to resist secretly transferring money to him. When he was sound asleep, mumbling something, I had to lean close to hear clearly. I heard him gritting his teeth, saying, When I earn enough money, I'll go die. Smack! A swift slap landed directly on his face. He jolted awake, quickly embracing me, his voice hoarse, Did you have a nightmare? I pretended to have just woken from a dream, burrowing into his arms and sobbing. Wah, darling, I dreamt that hateful woman Juju was showing off her newly bought jewelry and I had nothing. I held out my bare hand, there wasn't a single ring on it. Ryan took my hand, gently kissing it. Have I ever let you suffer a loss? Just swipe my card freely for whatever you want to buy. I was stunned. He was working odd jobs, but he had money that fast. Or had he been promoted to a foreman? However, I still had to maintain my delicate, innocent canary persona. Honey, isn't that being too wasteful? He chuckled softly in the dark. The implication was too clear. You must have spent so little these past few years. To talk about wastefulness now, isn't it too late? No matter how thick-skinned I was, there were times I felt ashamed. I quickly buried my face in his chest, obedient as a chick. When I woke up the next morning, Ryan had already left. I turned on the location tracking on my phone to see which construction site he was hauling bricks at. They must be gold bricks. Just a few days ago, he was penniless, yet now he suddenly exuded the aura of a CEO again. The location tracking was unbelievably precise, but it led me to Grand Bear Club. My hands trembled uncontrollably. Ryan, how could you have fallen so low? Grand Bear Club, even an innocent, sheltered person like me knew it was a notorious hangout for male hosts and male models. It was all my fault for harming him. I clutched my card and rushed there. Even during the day, the place was bustling with people. Countless male hosts surrounded the girls, who seemed to let themselves be fondled without a care. My heart twisted. It was all my fault. Deep inside, a man, 1.88 meters tall, with broad shoulders and a slender waist, a perfect figure. If not Ryan, then who? I heavily approached, pulling out my card. Sweetheart, I actually have money, you don't need to suffer like this. Come back with me, I'll support you from now on. Really? A strange voice rang out. I jolted, looking up, stunned. It wasn't Ryan, it was just a similar back. The tall man reached out to take my card. I never thought I'd be taken in by a rich lady. Perfect timing, I'm out of spending money. I guess I can let you support me for a few days. The moment his hand touched mine, I instantly snapped back to reality and said coldly, Excuse me, wrong person. His arrogant expression immediately crumbled, full of disbelief. Huh, who are you looking for? I'm the most handsome guy here. Choose me, you won't regret it. I gave him a quick glance. Before, when Grand Bear Club first opened, Ching had invited me to broaden my horizons, but I had never agreed. Now, looking back, I was lucky. Even the most handsome guy here couldn't compare to Ryan. Such low quality, and he dares to boast. While I wouldn't call the police if he ate a piece of my fruit, the situation was different now. Money had to be spent carefully. And why did the tracker lead me here? Moreover, the two red dots were very close together. Seeing that I ignored him, the tall man also felt offended and lowered his head to fiddle with his phone. With just a glance, I immediately recognized it as Ryan's phone. I instantly glared at him. Why do you have Ryan's phone? He's my brother. He stopped mid-sentence and quickly corrected himself. What if I just found it? I'm the girlfriend of the owner of this phone, just give it back to me. Girlfriend. He almost bit his tongue, his face contorted as he stammered. Oh no, she's my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law even wants to support me. If Brother Ryan finds out, he'll definitely be furious. My life is over. What are you mumbling about? I don't understand. It seems your mind isn't very sharp. I quickly snatched the phone back, rubbed oil on my feet, and ran off, 3 legs and 4, afraid he would follow me. Ryan's phone was unexpectedly lost. Fortunately, I found it, which saved a large sum of money. When he saw me again, he must have been secretly overjoyed. But this also meant losing the tracking signal. I didn't know where he was working his new odd job now. Was he really working as a construction contractor, wearing a tank top, a hard hat, sweating profusely on a construction site? A CEO turned construction worker, it wasn't actually bad, even kind of charming. Perhaps because he lost his phone, Ryan came home very early today. I had barely stepped through the door when he arrived. At first, I intended to ask him what kind of job he was doing these days to earn money so quickly. But as the words came to my lips, I suddenly remembered that, according to my character's established persona, I was not supposed to know he was bankrupt. In my eyes, he was still CEO Doohan of Doohan Group, a man at the pinnacle of society. My mind reeled, but my body stood still. In Ryan's eyes, this scene transformed into the canary who had always clung to him, now suddenly becoming cold and distant. He thought about something, his gaze darkening, his expression gloomy. At this point, I had already planned everything, so I quickly moved closer. Darling, you didn't even realize your phone was lost. Luckily, I found it for you. How are you going to thank me? He embraced me, who was wrapped around him, his throat gently moving. What do you want? I started playing defiant, biting his throat. In your eyes, am I really such a materialistic woman? His breathing became hurried, a flicker of doubt in his eyes. Isn't that right? I deliberately stepped on his foot, the meaning crystal clear. The words were on his lips, but he silently swallowed them. No, I pouted contentedly. You haven't kissed me in a long time. The corner of Ryan's mouth curved slightly, and he leaned down. Just as he got close, his expression suddenly changed. I blinked, feeling confused. He immediately stood straight up, turned his back, and fled into the kitchen. I'll go cook. I raised my hand to my body to check. There was no unpleasant smell. Instead, there was a faint, sweet scent. Ryan's expression suddenly changed dramatically, as if he had smelled something incredibly unpleasant. It was truly difficult to guess what this man was thinking. I sat comfortably on the sofa, playing with my phone, the fragrant smell from the kitchen filling the air. I sent a picture to Ching with the message, I'll hold Ryan tight, he won't escape me in this lifetime. As soon as I sent the message, Ryan walked out of the kitchen. Hearing the sound, I looked up, and for some reason, tears naturally streamed down my face. Perhaps it was due to the heat. Ryan wasn't wearing a shirt, only a cute pink apron wrapped around him. The apron didn't cover much. The more revealing it was, the more it made one blush. I didn't know where to look. Just then, a message from Ching arrived. I quickly opened the message as if to hide my embarrassment. Ching messaged, "This girl, you're tough, but there's something important. I know why CEO Doohan wanted to commit suicide." My attention was immediately captured. I frantically typed on the screen. Tell me clearly what exactly happened. Ching, Ryan's mother had a child out of wedlock. To pave the way for that child, she transferred a large amount of assets and also revealed important documents of Ryan's company to a competitor. What? Where did you learn about this? Ching, there are no eternal secrets in this world, my best friend. To put it simply, I'm at Doohan Group's company and the old Doohan family residence every day, getting to know the ants there. When those ants gossip, they drag out everything. Indeed, there's no secret the neighborhood intelligence agency doesn't know. Ants will always be ants. The cause of the matter is clear. Now we can prescribe the right medicine. But this is a wound from childhood, deeply embedded in his bones, truly difficult to heal. Perhaps because I learned of Ryan's tragic past, my movements unconsciously became gentler. I just didn't notice his red eyes and gloomy face. A despairing husband appeared right before my eyes. After dinner, Ryan went to wash the dishes. I rested for a while to digest and then prepared to take a bath. Just as I turned on the water, the bathroom door was pushed open. Ryan walked in, bringing with him a gloomy and heavy atmosphere. "Zixie, let me help you." This wasn't unprecedented. Moreover, Ryan always took very meticulous care of me. I comfortably leaned back into the bathtub, ready to relax my mind. Ryan still tenderly cared for me as always, but his obsessive behavior seemed to have worsened. He held the towel and rubbed so hard that my skin was almost chafed, yet he didn't stop. I intended to say a few words to him, but then I saw his eyes were red, as if he had just been bullied. In 3 years of living together, this was the first time I had seen him like this. That expression truly softened my heart. What more could I say? Of course, I could only comply with everything he wanted. Tonight, Ryan was extremely unusual. Since his bankruptcy, our intimate moments had been perfunctory and shallow. But tonight, he made demands several times, and whenever I had the slightest intention of stopping, his eyes would turn red, silently staring at me. I could only lie still obediently, not daring to utter a single word. Afterward, I speculated. Could it be that his mother had brought her illegitimate child, causing him to be bullied? It was very likely. It was time for me to act. Tomorrow, I would go deal with that hateful, illegitimate child. Before falling asleep, I suddenly realized why Ryan hadn't asked me where I found his phone. If he had asked, how would I explain that I had planted a tracker in his phone, and the location where I found it wasn't easy to lie about? Fortunately, Ryan wasn't curious at all, so I was safe. My best friend arranged to meet me at a safe place. I never expected the safe place she mentioned to be the Grand Bear Club. Looking up at the dazzling signboard, I was silent. This is what she calls safe? I suspected she just wanted to go see the male hosts, and I had plenty of evidence. Ching booked a private room. After all, I was a married woman. I had to maintain my image. I tiptoed in. Inside, only Ching was eating fruit. Seeing me, she waved, inviting me to join her. "Why choose this place?" She gave a mischievous smile. "Because no one would ever think company presidents would meet to plot their counterattack at a male model club." That's right, my best friend and I started a small company together. That year, I had just left my village, full of aspirations to build a career in the big city. My dreams were overflowing, but reality was endlessly harsh. Forget about building a grand career, even just supporting myself was a struggle. When I received my salary, I didn't even know if it was real money or just a meaningless string of numbers. After being knocked down by life countless times, I bowed my head and accepted my fate. A prestigious career? I only wished for an administrative job, gone by quitting time, relaxed weekends, and an income of about 5,000. Yet, even that humble desire was difficult to achieve. I began to despair. I don't know when, but I joined a strange chat group. Someone in the group spread the word that a wealthy young master in Beijing was looking for a canary, and the price was negotiable. I didn't hesitate to sign up immediately. The interviewer messaged me privately, asking, "Is the quality guaranteed? What's her background? Are you sure my young master will like her?" I looked at myself in the mirror, evaluated myself, and replied, "Absolutely stunning, impeccable quality." Rest assured 100%, the young master will definitely be satisfied. So, I got the chance to interview. At the interview, a person who seemed to be a butler led me in. Ryan wore a stylish black suit, exuding an air of impeccable charm. When he saw me, he slightly raised an eyebrow. "Where's the beauty I asked for?" I lifted my skirt and twirled once in front of him, feigning shyness. "Right here." He paused for a moment, and a mysterious smile played on his lips. I didn't know what that smile meant, satisfaction or disapproval. Before embarking on this path, I had told myself, as long as it wasn't a bald, pot-bellied old man, I would accept anyone. Who would have thought Ryan's looks and physique would far exceed my imagination too perfect? Before he could say anything, I timidly sat down next to him. "Young master, I don't ask for much. 200,000 yuan a month is enough." He narrowed his eyes. "No." The expression on my face instantly darkened. A young master who won't even pay 200,000? I haven't even asked for 1 million. I pouted, intending to leave. Too stingy. Just as I reached the door, Ryan casually said, "Given my status, it should be at least 1 million." And so, I became Ryan's canary, beginning days of luxurious living, spending money without a second thought. I didn't even know how much money he had spent on me. I only remembered one time, in a fit of excitement, I transferred 500,000 yuan to the matchmaker as a thank you. Thank you, you are my life's benefactor. No need to thank me. Luckily, your canary caught the crown prince's eye, otherwise it would be useless. I felt confused. Which canary? The one you sold to the crown prince. I forgot what kind of bird it was. I suddenly understood everything. It turned out what Ryan was actually looking for was a chirping canary, not me. I was extremely uneasy, afraid that one day he would be displeased and kick me out of the house. So I was always careful to please him, spending money very sparingly. But then I noticed that he not only didn't blame me but was also extremely tolerant. I started to become bolder. From initial probing questions like, "Mr. Dewan, may I use your card?" to later, "Darling, I want this, and also this." I spent money lavishly. He didn't even hide company matters from me, and I was, by nature, an ambitious woman. Money and opportunities were laid before me. If I didn't seize them, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. With a genius CEO like Ryan, we used his money. Based on his plans, the company was quickly established. I even called Ching from my village to help out. Not long after, our company became one of the suppliers for Dewan Group, and his mother's illegitimate child's company had a huge overlap in operations with Dewan Group. There was a special raw material that only my company could supply. To grow, they could only cooperate with me. Of course, simply refusing cooperation wasn't enough to defeat them. The important thing was that Aunt Meng from our village, who worked as a nanny in his illegitimate child's house, had overheard many things. Those two, mother and son, had committed countless illegal acts. Just reporting one would be enough to make them pay a heavy price. Our job was merely to gather evidence and deliver a decisive blow. High-level business warfare can sometimes be very simple. After the discussion, my best friend seemed a little restless. "Honey, since we're already here," I immediately took a step back, keeping my distance. "No, I'm a married woman," she pouted, her eyes coquettishly flirting. "We're just looking, not doing anything. Darling, can't we even just look a little?" I was a principled person, but since I was already here and it was just looking, I compromised. "All right, just look then." Ching, perhaps having been repressed for a long time, immediately summoned 18 young men of all shapes and sizes. The private room was instantly filled with a dizzying array of perfumes. I sniffed until my head spun. I quickly pulled out my phone to distract myself. The moment I opened it, I saw Ryan had sent me 99 messages. "Are you out? I'm free. Where are you? I'll pick you up, my darling. What do you want to eat tonight? I'll buy it for you. I miss you so much. Transferred 5 million. Transferred 10 million. Sweat broke out on me from surprise. Why would he suddenly transfer such a large sum of money to me? I immediately called him, but his phone reported no connection. A bad premonition washed over me. I grabbed my bag, stood up, and said, "Ching, I have to go now." She looked at me with a bewildered expression and held out her phone. "Zixi, isn't that your husband, the one trying to commit suicide by the river?" I thought she was just playing another silly prank, so without looking closely, I replied, "Your husband." When my gaze dropped and recognized that familiar face, a horrified scream escaped my throat. Damn it, it really is my husband. Our eyes met, and we both simultaneously rushed out the door, almost flooring the gas pedal, running countless red lights. Finally, we arrived. Ryan was standing at the river's edge, starting to wade into the water. I ran as fast as an 800-meter runner, screaming until my voice was hoarse. "Ryan, come back to me." He ignored me, even walking faster. I was so angry I wanted to vomit blood, chasing him frantically. I grabbed his hand, he pushed it away. I grabbed again, he pushed it away again. But fortunately, he didn't take another step. His voice changed. "Why are you still looking for me?" Was he this angry just because I hadn't replied to his messages? I tried to suppress my anger, gently coaxing him. My phone was on silent mode. I didn't see the messages. "Next time you send one, I'll reply immediately." His bankruptcy and his own mother abandoning him, I completely understood his insecurity. I patiently explained, hoping that after I finished, we could hold hands and go home. I reached out to hold his hand, but Ryan was still stubborn, coldly pushing my hand away. "Don't touch me, you smell of that man's perfume." I was enraged. Without thinking, I delivered a sharp slap. "Stop messing around, come home with me now." He lowered his head, silent. My anger surged again, and I slapped him once more. "You're like this every day. Do you want to live a decent life? Do you really want to live with me?" After 2 slaps, my rationality returned. Looking at my reddened hand, I felt a little regret. Who would have thought Ryan didn't seem to like gentleness but preferred roughness? After being hit, he stopped making a fuss, obediently took my hand, and walked towards the bank. I was stunned. Had I been doing it wrong all this time? I never expected him to be that kind of man. Seeing me slap him twice in quick succession, my friend frantically pulled the car to the side of the road. The moment she saw my face, she quickly opened the door, reverently inviting us in. Her face clearly showed fear. "Hit anyone you want, just don't hit me," I spoke softly, proactively creating an opportunity for him to back down. "Sweetheart, let's get in the car." Ryan sat still as an obedient chick. As soon as the door slammed shut, my friend immediately floored the gas pedal and sped away. Honestly, I was terrified. A weak canary like me wouldn't dare provoke a wealthy sugar daddy. There were still countless transfer messages on my phone, huge sums that made my head spin. In just a few short days, Ryan had earned such a massive amount of money. His return to the pinnacle was only a matter of time. Back home, I instinctively started packing my belongings, thinking that this time I would definitely be kicked out, and it was better to leave on my own terms than be expelled. As I was packing, Ryan just sat silently in a corner, his face gloomy. It wasn't until I picked up my personal items that he suddenly reacted. He quickly walked over, gripped my shoulders tightly, his voice choked and desperate. Who was that man? It was only then that I understood. It turned out his unusual behavior today was because of this. "You knew I went to the Grand Bear Club?" He turned his face away, not saying a word. I gripped his chin, turning his face to clearly see that he was crying, his red eyes trembling intermittently like a puppy. "In 3 years, I've never seen you shed a tear." He bit his lip tightly, sobbing silently, both weak and pitiful, making one want to bully him yet also feel heartbroken. I gently patted his back, coaxing him like a child. "Come on, let me explain. The first time I went there was because I saw your phone's location there. And today, I honestly had no idea. Ching called me there. It's not my fault. Besides, I have you already. How could I look at anyone else? I have the best man in the world." He seemed somewhat comforted but was still crying. "But you said you wanted to support those men there." I quickly justified myself. Because he was tall, his back looked very similar to yours. Plus, your phone's location was exactly there, so I mistook him. "Actually, the one I want to support is you." He thought in silence, then nodded in acceptance, bowing his head onto my shoulder. "All right, sweetheart, I wrongly blamed you. But the phone's location." I immediately covered his mouth. "Darling, I'm so sleepy, let's just go to sleep." I rubbed my head against him. He understood immediately and obediently let it go. All night, I had to toil in the kitchen. My waist felt like it was about to break. I pushed him away and said, "That's enough, everything needs moderation, let's save some freshness." He lowered his eyes, looking pitiful. "I'm just a little sad." I indulged him. As I was about to fall asleep, he gritted his teeth and whispered in my ear, "I'm 188.07 cm tall." How can that 188 guy compare? Oh, so this was the real reason he tormented me all night. Indeed, even a single centimeter could be that important. Waking up the next day, my entire body was predictably sore. Knowing I was glaring at him, Ryan had been incredibly obedient since early morning, brushing my teeth, washing my face, then bringing me water and food. He had done everything meticulously, but I still didn't give him a decent glance. Give a man an inch and he'll take a mile. Ding dong, I looked down at my phone. Ryan had just transferred another huge sum of money to me. Did he think transferring money could bribe me? "Zixie, there's something I want to tell you. I'm actually bankrupt." I looked at him coldly. "So what? What do you mean?" He acted obediently, like a large dog clinging to its owner. "The only way left is for you to support me." I shrugged. "I don't have money." He choked, seemingly not expecting such a reply from me. "I don't care. In short, I'm making you support me." After saying that, he pulled the blanket over his head and rolled over to sleep. Men, once they start playing games, are truly terrifying. I gave up. The ringing of my phone woke me up. The moment I answered, I heard Ching's frantic scream. Outrageous, truly outrageous. I held the phone away from my ear, tiredly saying, "Speak human. Your husband is being bullied. CEO Duan's mother saw that Duan Group was starting to recover and her illegitimate son was useless. Yet she shamelessly demanded shares from CEO Duan." I shot out of bed. "Dare to touch my man? I'll tear that shameless, thick-skinned woman to shreds." I hastily put on some makeup and furiously stormed to the company. On the way, I had already rehearsed the sharp words I would say. Ryan would be teary-eyed, and I would be ready to spread my arms to protect him, roaring, "Let me handle this. Stand behind me." On the way, I had envisioned all sorts of scenarios, but who knew that upon arrival, the person was nowhere to be found. I only saw Ryan sitting alone in his office, his face lonely and melancholic. Witnessing that scene, my heart ached. I approached, gently patted his back, and softly comforted him. "I'm here now, don't worry about anything." Ryan just sat there silently, looking out the window, and softly said, "Zixi, I only have you left. Everyone bullies me, I can only rely on you." This was the first time someone had leaned on me like that. I no longer cared about anything else. All my promises, all my sweet words, I poured them out without reservation. Accidentally, I even blurted out that I had a company. Only after saying it did I realize with a start that I shouldn't have revealed this. Fortunately, Ryan didn't seem to pay much attention, only weakly leaning against me, occasionally kissing me, his voice gently praising, "Wow, you're so capable." My heart was filled with satisfaction. In the middle of the night, in a hazy dream, I suddenly realized the bed next to me was empty. I jolted awake, fearing Ryan had gone back to his dark thoughts, and immediately ran out barefoot. I saw him leaning on the balcony, a lit cigarette clipped between his fingers. It's time to reel in the net. Yes, no need to hold back, just follow the plan. Suddenly, a rather loud sound came from the other end of the line, as if it had been leaked. "Brother Gui, you truly live up to your name. Using this bankruptcy scheme to trap everyone, what a brilliant move." Thud. The phone accidentally fell to the ground. Ryan jolted, turned around, his eyes meeting my bewildered gaze. His eyes scanned from top to bottom, stopping at my bare feet. He frowned, walked over, and picked me up. "The floor is cold, why aren't you wearing slippers?" I was silent. Because, according to my character's established persona, I was not supposed to know he had ever gone bankrupt, but I didn't feel angry about being deceived. On the contrary, I felt relieved that it wasn't true, because emotions don't lie. At that moment, his sorrow was real. Of course, he didn't say anything. I also pretended not to know anything. I just seized this opportunity. "You're teasing me. You weren't even bankrupt, yet you made me support you. Aren't you ashamed?" He chuckled softly. "All my money is yours, so of course you're supporting me." I let out an "oh," and then suddenly remembered that I had blurted out about my company. "Didn't you vaguely realize that I've been spending your money and using your resources for a long time now?" He gently carried me back to bed, his voice calmly saying, "True love isn't built on dependence. You might find it interesting at first, but in the long run, you'll only become more insecure. Only when you have comparable capabilities can you love me for a long time."